Hey guys, it's Mrs. Rodriguez. I'm going to walk you through a PowerPoint on what I'm looking for in your outlines and your paragraphs. So, to start you off, this is just a bunch of facts, and I pulled these directly from the book. In fact, if you look, it tells you where I got them, page 150, page 147, that kind of thing. This is just facts about Chinese culture that you could put in your outline on the paragraph for culture. And I just wrote down, notice there's no complete sentences. It just says strong family ties. Family equals many generations. Live together in one/more houses. So this is not complete sentences. This is the kind of information that you need to pull for your outline. Okay. Let me show you what I believe the next slide is what it should look like. What the outline should look like. Yep, there we go. What should my outline look like? Okay, I stuck all those facts in the outline, whether I think I'm going to use them or not. I put a ton of facts. I don't know exactly what my paragraph's going to look like yet, so better to have too many facts than not enough. So you can see I just stuck them all in there in just kind of random order. But when you look at this, you can tell I've got a bunch of facts. I am completely ready to create my paragraph. I know that one of the most important things in Chinese culture is family, so I've got that up at the top as a possible thing for my intro. And then at the bottom, I've got something about I should probably conclude with the importance of family and the impact that Chinese culture has had on the world. But I put all the facts in there. Now, when I look at your outline, if your outline looks like this, I can tell you've done a ton of research, and I can tell that you are ready to write your paper. Okay, this would be a good looking outline. This is what yours should look like. Okay. If, however, your outline looks like this, look, each line only has one fact, and even with that, they're not like family was important. What does that mean? Family was important. How do you know family was important? On the other one, you had the follow-up facts about how they all lived together in one house and how it was multiple generations, blah, blah, blah. But all this one says is family was important. They used music and everything. The main art was metal. I mean, this is so basic. I would look at an outline that looks like this and go, I'm not sure they're going to have enough facts to pull this off. So this outline would not get you full credit. So if you want full credit on your outline when you turn it in, it needs to look like the one from the last slide, not this one. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, this is a C paragraph. If I took those facts about that Chinese culture paragraph and wrote this paragraph, I would get a C. Culture in China was very significant. What does that mean? What does that mean it was very significant? That's such a silly word. Okay, culture in China was very significant. Education was considered important. One of the most important people was a philosopher named Confucius. He wrote proverbs. People were separated into classes. Class was determined by contributions to society, not money. Music was also a significant, there's that word again, part of the Chinese culture. Families lived together for generations and respected the old. Boys were more important than girls. Chinese culture was rich and important. What? Okay, let's talk about this paragraph. First of all, it's got 10 sentences, which is more than the required 8, so that's awesome, right? Except for your words per sentence, the average word per sentence is only 7. These are short, choppy little sentences. Look at this, short, choppy sentences. There's no flow, there's no organization. Like, how do you move from one thing to another? Stuff's just kind of thrown in there. Boys are more important than girls is just kind of randomly thrown in at the end. There's no organization, okay? Look at this, bare minimum effort equals a bare minimum grade. If you want an A, you have to do better than this. So let me show you how you could use the same facts and get an A. Here's an A paragraph, same facts. Children in ancient China grew up in a culture that emphasized respect for family and elders. This respect was reflected in their home life, which usually consisted of multiple generations of a family living together in either one house or several built around a central courtyard. The children would also have to be dedicated to education, as the role of education in Chinese culture was crucial. Children had to memorize literature, and they might also, sorry for the misspelling, memorize the proverbs of the famous philosopher Confucius, who taught that the search for wisdom was the highest achievement. They could listen to music while they worked, since music was a part of everything in ancient China. They would also have to learn about the art of China, which involved amazing metalwork, particularly in bronze. After working on their classical education, most Chinese children would have to help on the family farm since most people in China were poor farm workers. Chinese boys were valued higher than their sisters because it was the boys who would carry on the family name. Finally, children in ancient China learned the importance of contributing to society, as that is what would determine their class station in life. These principles of respect, dedication, and contribution all contributed to the rich Chinese culture. Same facts, completely different paragraph. This one's an A. Why? Why is it an A? Well, there's 10 sentences again, but the words per sentence are now 22. You got multiple facts in each sentence. You got different kinds of sentences. I've got complex sentences, compound sentences. I've got prepositional phrases. I'm showing off what I can do with my English. That's what I want to see you guys doing on this paper. The paragraph has flow. They all tie together. One sentence flows into the other. It's all told from the perspective of like a Chinese child. So that gives you something that ties it all together. This is how you want your paragraphs to go. You don't have to use exactly this perspective. You don't have to have exactly 22 words per sentence, but you get what I'm coming from. You should not have short, choppy sentences, and your paragraphs should flow. All right. Here's some facts that we all know about Mesopotamia, right? We've already learned Mesopotamia. We know that the Sumerians, their main city is Ur. Their government was city-states. They had a loosely organized government, blah, 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 mostly farming, all that kind of stuff. We know the Akkadians, Sargon was their leader. He took power in Kish, north of Sumer, blah, blah, blah. The Babylonian Empire, the capital was Babylon, first civilization to create a book of law. And the Assyrians was the largest empire. The capital was Nineveh, military culture that invaded neighbors, blah, blah, blah. So I take these facts, which would be in my outline, obviously. And this is for the people groups paragraph. So this is Mesopotamian people groups. Come on, here we go. Here's an A paragraph on people groups. Mesopotamian history includes several different people groups that all contributed significant inventions or concepts to the world. Sumerians were the first important people group and had their capital city in Ur. They were primarily farmers until their advancements in farming led to a food surplus that allowed for job specialization. Sumer had independent city-states who each had their own kings. This loose structure made them ripe for takeover by another people group, the Akkadians. An Akkadian leader named Sargon came to power in Kish, north of Sumer, and became the first empire builder when he took over Sumer. Akkadians were not strong enough to stand against the Babylonian Empire, though. The Babylonian king Hammurabi recognized the importance of consistency in rules throughout the empire and developed a book of laws for everyone called Hammurabi's Code. Even the strength of the Babylonians could not protect their empire from the fierce military of the final people group, the Assyrians. The Assyrians built the biggest empire of the time and had a mixed culture as they assumed the traditions of the people they conquered. While each of these people groups were different in many ways, each of them contributed advancements in farming or military strength that helped change the world. Okay, let's talk about why this is important. Number one, I have 11 sentences, so more than the minimum 8 required, and my words per sentence, once again, is high, 18, so I don't have short, choppy sentences going on. I've got significant sentences with multiple facts in each sentence. I mentioned something specific about each people group. There's something specific about Sumer. I say that they had city-states and that they were primarily farmers. I mentioned Sargon and Kish, and for the Babylonians, I mentioned Hammurabi and Hammurabi's Code. So there's something specific about each people group. The flow is organized. I moved through them chronologically so that it would make sense. I've got complex sentences, compound sentences, prepositional phrases, all sorts of stuff going on here. Please note, people groups are civilizations, not classes. The people group paragraph is not where you discuss classes. Classes would be a part of culture and would go into your culture paragraph. So if class culture was important, then that should go in the culture paragraph, not in the people group paragraph. So for Egypt, you could do Egyptians and Kush. You got to make sure you're dealing with people groups. People in the past who have done China have asked me if they could do the clans or the dynasties, and that's totally fine. Just make sure that this is about people groups and not about class. Okay? I think that might be it. Is that it? That's it. Ta-da! Okay, so now you know I'm looking for tons and tons and tons of facts in your outline. You don't have to use everything that's in your outline in your paper, but I do need to see in your outline that you've got more than you need. I need to see tons and tons of facts in your outline. So just fill that outline up. Remember, everything that you just saw, everything that I just got in those 2 paragraphs was strictly just from the textbook. So if you just go to your textbook, you can get enough to make big chunky sentences. So then when you go to your other sources too, and you get your internet sources and your encyclopedia, then you should have just overwhelming. You should have facts written in the margins and stuff written in sideways and just craziness. I want your outline to be so many facts that I can barely read it. Remember though, I've studied these civilizations, so if you're writing in stuff that's not real, just to have stuff written down, I will know. Okay, so make sure they're actual facts, get a ton of facts, fill up that outline, and when I get back next Thursday, we'll go over it. We'll make sure that you guys are happy with the way your outline looks, and then they'll be turned in on Friday the 15th. Okay, thanks so much, guys. Don't you love this pause while I figure out how to turn off the video?